everyone, it's Pam here with Tattered Paper and Lace, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. We are here today for, it's Monday, so you know we're here today for the Margarete Miller collage challenge, and we are on week 24. So the hashtag is 2025 CWP24. You can get the prompts at Margarete Miller's Etsy, which is Mellow Miller, and you can get the prompts there. So if you go to this hashtag, you'll see what others are doing with these same prompts. So let's go over the prompts. Something that glows in the dark or appears to, a soft texture, a page with a water stain or smudge, an image of a vintage sign or a poster, a teacup or a coffee mug, and the bonus is lace, and that can be real, paper, or otherwise. So let's see what we have. So first, I am not doing something that glows in the dark or appears to. I'm not going to do anything with that. So what I do have is something with a soft texture, and I think a bunny's fur, especially a baby bunny's fur, is soft. So that is my soft texture. Slide it over here, right there. Then the page with the watermark with water stain or smudge, I'm going to do that later. We'll do that later. Then an image of a vintage sign or a poster. I have this photograph that has the vintage signage above the door. It's in French, I believe, and I think it says Pastry Confections. And you can tell by what the people have on that it is vintage. Okay, so that's going to be that. Then a teacup or a mug. I have this partial teacup here. I'm going to use that. And then the lace, real paper or otherwise, I'm going to use the edge of this paper heart doily. I'm going to use this lacy edge here for that. So let's get started. First off, I want to, my bunny, I've already trimmed so I can get my bunny inside this teacup. So he's going to go right inside here, just like this, inside the teacup. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there and put down so it doesn't move around. And we just need to put a little bit along the bottom here for the bunny to attach to, just like that. And let me get the glue off. And that'll work just like that. Okay. And then I also want to glue it here just a little bit. So I'm just going to glue it right down here, just a touch, so it doesn't flop around. I'm going to do that just like that. And these two images came out of Daphne's Diary, which I haven't used them very much. I have a year's worth because I decided that's all the ones I needed was a year's worth, and then I could find something I needed in there. Okay, this is going to go on this side. Layer prompts up there. This is going to go here. So this is going to be basically the background, like this. And then this is going to go here, like this, basically about like that. Okay, and then this is going to go underneath here, right there, about like that. Now I'm going to have to move this down a little bit, I think, because I don't want to get into, let me move this up just a little bit. I don't want to get into this white part here. I want it to be right on the edge. So that is kind of how this is going to go. and then I'll need to make sure I've got everything. But I think I do. So I'm going to put this down first. Again, in case you just joined me, I'm doing these on coasters, on restaurant coasters. I'm just going to go along the edge here, all along the edge here, like that. And I think that's going to be pretty much in the right place. And then I'm not really going to worry about the rest of that being glued down, because the top of it is going to get glued. When it comes. I might do it, well, I will do it across the bottom here. Just so it doesn't come up, I need to do it across the bottom here. So let me get this here, like that. And that will get that in place. And I will cut around this. Just like that. So we've got our little piece of lace right there. And then this is my vintage sign or poster. So that's going to go right here. And I want it at an angle. I don't want it straight across. And I think that will be good right there. Need that to go over as far as it can. And that's going to go about like that. I actually would like for this to come up a little bit, but I don't know that it can. So I don't want any of the dark. I don't want any of the dark. So you know what I may do? I may add a little bit more of the lace up this way, and that way I can move it over. It's not quite wide enough to cover, and I don't want these dark edges to show in my bunny and his cup, because I want to, it needs to come to right here and right here. So this needs to be, because that's not cut correctly. You know, it was in the magazine that way. So I need to be able to, maybe I should angle it this way. Oh, that might be better. I don't know that it'll still cover, but I can put a little bit of lace up that side right there. I can move that over just a bit. And then all I have is this little tiny bit right here. That should work. Could do that like that. So I still could put a little bit of this lace over here like this. Like this. And have a little bit of the lace over here to, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put this down so I don't have to think about it again or reposition it again. So I'm going to put this, my glue's not wanting to come out good. Come on, glue. Come on. Wow, it doesn't want to come out. It's probably enough to keep it down, but it sure doesn't want to come out. So let me get it right here too. Let me stick a pin in it. I have my little blue pin here. Let's get that put in there and see if I can get that unclogged a little bit. There we go. Maybe that did it. So I can get this down just a little bit better than it is. Oh yeah, that's better. So let's go ahead and put this down all along here. as best we can. I'm going to go ahead and put it over the top of this little piece of lace here. So I have that in place, just like that. Because it didn't need to have very much of it. Just don't want that dark background to show. So we're going to get this on there so we'll have a little bit of something there. And then the teacup and the bunny will cover up the rest of it. So let me cut this around like that. Lay that aside. Yeah, see, that little bit of lace is good. I'm probably going to have to glue underneath that better. Yeah, that'll be all right. So this image of this pastry shop is also out of Daphne's diary. Okay, there we go. So it's a book page, or I'm calling it a page, because it was on a page. It was a magazine page. It says book page for the stained, water stained or whatever. Well, I'm going to have a stain. It's just not going to be water stained. But it said it can be water stain or a smudge. It's actually going to be more of a smudge. What I'm going to do, I need to get some glue under that. Right here. There we go. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to have to get some glue under this because I didn't get any under this. That's just going to cover up that little bit of dark. I didn't want it. Uh-oh, I think I had two layers of lace of this doily there. Did not realize that. That's the thing about these doilies. So I'm putting more glue on that. So glue them together. It's not easy to get them apart and know that you've got them apart. I did not know I had more than one, so that's probably also the case over here. Yep. But I have mostly that glued together. Oh well, I hate that. Not knowing that you have two of them, but that's okay. And it's quite all right. Okay. We have that. This one's going to come together pretty easily, pretty quickly. So we're having our cup and saucer put on there just like that. So let's get this also done around the edge here. Like that. And get that in its place. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off this. Okay, there we go. How does that? That looks pretty good. Okay. And I wanted the white edges of the photo because I wanted it to look like a photo. I wanted to make sure that it looked, you know, like it was a photo that came from somewhere else. Let's get that on there. And let's get the little bunny guy down. This one took a little bit of time because I just it's another one of those I just couldn't make the prompts make sense together. But I think, and if I didn't have such a small amount of real estate to do this on, I would have probably done something that glows in the dark. I was thinking of a moon, stars also, but I just don't really have a good amount of space to add that in, so that's why I decided not to do it. And this is makes a little more sense to me here. And I think I have everything but that, but let's just double check. Oh, no, I know. I've got to do this to get the smudge. So I've been inking around the edges a little bit, and I'm calling that the smudge. Looks like a smudge to me. And that's a book. This came out of a book page, off of a book page, a magazine page. I'm calling that a book page. So I'm taking a little bit of artistic license here. But that's okay because we are allowed to do such. There are no collage police, as others have said. Okay, so let's go over the prompts and make sure we've got them all. Okay, something that glows in the dark is, I'm not doing that, so there is nothing on here to answer that prompt. Unless this was at night, the lights would glow in the dark inside the pastry, but we're not going there. So I didn't do that one. A soft texture. I think this little baby bunny is, he would have soft fur. An image of a vintage sign or poster. This is a vintage storefront, and that is vintage signage above there that I believe is French. And I believe it says pastry confections, something like that. A teacup, a page with a water stain or a smudge. I'm using the fact that I did ink around the edge. It looks smudged, so that's going to be my stain or smudge. A teacup or coffee mug, so I did a teacup here, and my bunny is in the teacup. And then we have lace that is real paper or otherwise, and I have paper lace in 2 little spots here. And I didn't get this glued down good, so let me get that glued down. But it looks like I have everything, but this is something that glows in the dark, or appears to. And you could say that I actually did have that, because like I said, the lights inside the store at night would glow. It is not nighttime at the moment, but it still would glow in the night. So, you know, it would glow in the dark. So we can say that's that or not. It doesn't really matter. Let me get this up. I didn't get enough glue under here, and it's bubbling just a little bit. So let me stick a little bit of glue under there, and maybe get that bubbling out of there. I am loving doing these little collages. The more you do, the easier they get. But you don't have a lot of real estate. So you do what you can. Okay, I think that's my collage for this week. I appreciate you coming along. All of you who have joined me, thank you for coming back. And if you've just found me, welcome. And I hope you enjoy what you see, and that you will come and join me for further videos, because this collage happens every week, along with whatever else I might come up with to do during the week that I'm going to record. And sometimes I don't record any more than this one, but sometimes I do other things. I have done some challenges that was every day. So I hope to maybe do some more of that. I have one more thing I'm going to do. I almost forgot. And that is, I like to use a nail file to go around the outside of my circle, because my cutting, even though I'm cutting it against the circle, the cardboard, it has little nubbies on it. And so I like to basically sand those off. And sometimes, if the paper is thin enough, vintage paper works really well. You can actually not cut it and just do it with the sandpaper or the nail file. But this didn't have anything that was, I thought, thin enough that it would do that nicely. But vintage paper does real nicely that way. Okay, there we go. And you have it. Thank you again for coming along. And if you'd like to see further videos from me, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll get further videos from me. And I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.